Well, good morning and welcome to your Friday 5 for 5 today. I am Adam and I'm the worship pastor here at First Baptist Church of the Islands, and I'm excited to be with you this Friday morning. It is February the 19th. This is the first Friday of Lent. And as we come to this Friday and this season, um, I was thinking about songs and usually I do a song on Friday mornings of a hymn or something like that, and I could not get one of the songs that I did this past Tuesday night in our worship session off my mind and my heart. And it's a song called Use Me. You may not have ever heard it before until that time, and you may still, don't know the song even after I sang it. But it's an old song that says, if you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. And one of the verses in the song, the second verse actually talks about David. And I love the story of David from the book of 1 Samuel. I love how God chose David when that wasn't man's choice. You know how the story goes. Saul has been the king, and he has stopped listening to God, and he has really refused to repent each time that Samuel the prophet confronted him with it. And so God has told Samuel to anoint a new king, and God was going to show him who to anoint. So God sent Samuel to the family of Jesse to choose a new king. And something really interesting happens when Samuel arrives. Jesse has 8 sons. And when Samuel gets there to kind of examine and to review his sons, Jesse brings out only 7 of the boys, and he parades them out in front of the old prophet with the expectation that one of those boys is going to be anointed king. And Samuel is immediately impressed with Eliab, who is Samuel's oldest son. He was tall, and Samuel even said he looked like a king. And if the king choosing contest was just over looks and outward appearance, Samuel was done. This was an easy thing. But God refused Eliab. Well, then Samuel rolls through the 6 next sons, and every one of those sons is rejected. Every one of Jesse's sons are rejected. Each one of them just did not have the heart that God was looking for. There was only one that God wanted, and he had not been brought out yet. Finally, Jesse brings out his youngest son, David. And you know the rest of the story. David was anointed king, and David became the king and the one that we read about, the man after God's own heart, who Christ was born from the lineage of. But David was chosen by God for a reason, and it's the same reason that his brothers were rejected for the lack of it, and it was faith in God. One of the things that I take away from this story, and the reason I wanted to share it with you today, is because no one saw the potential inside of David when he was out tending the sheep, when he was the younger son. No one saw the potential that was in this young man, not even his own father. Not even his own father. But God saw that there was a king inside of him. So I want to remind you today that what God sees in you is much more than what man sees in you. In the book of Acts, we read, "But God removed Saul and replaced him with David, a man about whom God said, I have found David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart. He will do everything I want him to do." Let that be said about you. Though the world may want to choose what's most impressive, God chooses the willing. Are you willing to do what God has called you to do? May that be us today The world may not see anything great, but God sees who you truly are, a willing vessel of His. If you can use anything, Lord, you can use us. I hope that's your prayer this week. I love you. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.